Hey gang, Mocha Boy here, welcome back. So this next attack that we're going to be looking at, I'm not actually going to show you two attacks on this base. This was one of our Town Hall 10 attackers attacking this base at the outset of the war. And one of the things I want to point out about this base, this is essentially what a Southern Teaser is. Now, a couple of things with the way that the configuration of this base works. If you were to attack from the side, hang on a second, these channels redirect your troops around the base because they present nothing but a chain of trash. You know, this is literally a breadcrumb of buildings, you know, that take you on a merry-go-round of the base. Meanwhile, while that's happening, all of these long-range defenses are pummeling you from the outside. If anything does make it into this core, there's the single target Inferno along with some really high-powered DPS to take them out. And if you attack from the south, everything consolidates into this one pocket, and then you have 1, 2, 3, splash, 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 everything just shooting into the core. You know, completely murders anything that makes it into there. And mind you, in addition to all of those defenses, there are also quad Teslas parked right there, along with big bombs right here. So, you know, the big bombs soften up the initial targets, and then this concentration of DPS, I mean, we're talking probably close to 800 DPS within this core. Even a golem under that much fire won't last very long. So the trick with these Southern Teaser bases is never attack them from the south, and unfortunately I couldn't get to this player before they tried you know, to do exactly that. And the attack came in from the south. And you know, this was with a Go Wipe army, TH10 versus TH10, trying to pick off some free percentage points here with the exterior archer towers. But then as soon as those go down, the main attack starts. He was trying to pull out the clan castle, but none of those troops made it to the clan castle to pull them out. Let's see. So there's the hogs, but then one of them got sprung, and then that hog didn't make it past that mortar to go get the clan castle. So I mean, at this point, there's really no choice but to start the raid. And yeah, the golems go down. The wizards that got dropped behind them got wiped out by the bombs. The witches go into action, but then everything, I mean, literally everything just gets fried within the span of you know, a few seconds. Even with that march and the freeze, it's still just not enough time to process both the clan castle as well as the multi-target and single-target infernos, and just that crazy amount of DPS that's just concentrated in that one spot. So yes, obviously you see a Southern Teaser base. They're called Southern Teasers for a reason, but that doesn't mean that they're not vulnerable. Now, what we knew at this point was this. Hang on a second. This guy was accessible with a couple of loons, and then that would free up all of this space for like a couple of minions to go in and clean them up. And you guys know how I operate when I look at these bases. I'm always looking for exterior accessible archer towers that can free up space. And as far as percentage is concerned, you have these is free percentage, this is free percentage. There's 3 buildings down here for free percentage. So I mean, really at this point, the only thing that was left to decide was which side to attack it from. Obviously, you don't want to take it from this side, you don't want to take it from this side, and from the south. That only leaves a direct north attack, a northwest attack, or a northeast attack. Now, the problem with going in from the north is that the same mechanic that draws your troops kind of like this will do the reverse if you send them in from the south. If you send them in from the north, they'll split like this. They'll survive. They'll survive for a really long time because all of this effective DPS down here won't touch them. These are all point defenses along with some light splash defenses here. But the problem is the chain of buildings. You can't go in from the north and expect these guys to just simply stop here and then, you know, start directing into the core. If they make it to this building, then they'll go to this, then that, then that, then that, and then come back around and then do this. I mean, it's pretty hysterical. So really, the only choice is to come in from the northeast or to come in from the northwest. And for me, this became a 50-50 gamble. The reason that I ended up choosing the northeast was because of this. My entire army is typically designed to deliver the AQ to the town hall, and the only way that that's possible is if you take down the Expos and any of the other long-range defenses that can take her out. So this side gave me the most direct path to this Expo and to that Expo, and all I had to do was worry about what to do with the Inferno. So the composition for this attack was going to be 1 Golem, 3 P.E.K.K.A.s, and then I think it was 6, 7, 8 giants, and the giants were really just there to soak up, to pull in inferno beams. So infernos can only target up to 5 troops at any given time, and if you could just get them into here, as few as 5 giants could tie up this inferno tower long enough for the rest of the troops to clear out the rest of these defenses, and then have the AQ deliver in. Now the other thing I did was, I'm never a fan of taking the path that you're presented by a base designer. If a base designer leaves all of these pockets open, there's usually a good reason for why they do that. So I ended up blasting a hole in that wall and that wall to give me the most direct route into the core of the base. But what I also started to do, or at least ahead of that attack, was to start setting up my guardrails up here. That meant taking out these buildings, as well as these buildings for the lure and all of that other fun stuff. So now the thing is, I mean, it's a pretty high risk attack, because once you get into this pocket, it's anyone's guess as to what's going to happen. But for this attack, it ended up being 3 rages and I believe a heal, just to recharge the troops before they made it into that murder core, and then off and running. So let's go ahead and see how that all worked out. Now, this was my attack on the base. This was a follow-up attack. I dropped my minions there to start banking some percentage. So the 2 loons are down there just to free up that corner, and then I drop in 1 distraction giant along with 6 hogs. This was a pretty expensive pull, but when I ran my calculations, there was so much DPS there, I wasn't sure how long they'd actually survive. So it's always better to send more than to send less. So they all made it in, and then I do my barb walk. And you've heard me mention this before, but I've found that witches, at least for me, are less useful as a TH9 attacker, only because there's no way for me to protect them once they get anywhere near the Inferno. So I just, I forget them altogether, and then use that space for loon drops as well as wizards. But I do that barb walk, I drop a couple minions on the witch's head, and then I continue on with a consolidation of those CC troops, and then do a loon drop right on top of them. And then as soon as that happens, we can get started with the raid, a couple of cleanup minions, 1 more distraction giant, and then just 1 wizard there to take out what was left of that. Now these guys will do double duty and actually start helping me set up the funnel. So wall breakers go down, I start my march, CC P.E.K.K.A., my P.E.K.K.A.s, couple giants down here to protect these wizards so that they can do their job. Raging the troops right there. Now, I mean, one of the really interesting things about using this many giants is that, I mean, if you do the math, that many giants is about 500 DPS. So for tanks, they're still pretty damn beefy if you can get them to survive the gauntlet to actually hit a defense. I do a late deploy on the Archer Queen and the BK, not because it made any sense, it was simply because I forgot about them. I was so busy watching my giants and the P.E.K.K.A.s that I forgot about my heroes. But they're in there, under rage, clearing out that entire compartment, and then, I mean, at this point, like I said, it's anyone's guess as to what will happen, and the AQ goes exactly where she's supposed to for a change. There's only 1 defense on her, and the town hall's already at 50%. She's still got her ability. She'll pop it in just a second, and the town hall goes down. BK's still roaming around the outside of the base doing his thing, and I'm able to walk away for 2 stars. So remember, Southern Teaser base, don't attack from the south. And remember to look out for these lanes. These lanes have a nasty tendency to redirect your troops around a base. Never take the path that you're given. Choose your own, carve your own path into the core of a base, and see if you can figure out a novel way to attack them.